Hey freediving family, today I'm going to go through my 92 meter free immersion dive from the most recent World Championships. The dive was an Australian record and it won me the bronze medal, and I'm going to go through it and basically comment on the video and on the dive itself and let you know what was going on in my head and what I'm trying to do. I hope to give you some sort of insight into deep diving in general, or at least my deep diving, you know. Alright, so here I am just at the surface, just breathing, getting ready to go, and now my 30-second window begins. So I do have a 30-second window in which I can start my dive. If I go before or after it, then I get disqualified. So I'm taking my final breath now, trying to basically just fill up my lungs as much as possible, and I start packing, which is a kind of dangerous and advanced technique to forcibly inflate your lungs more. Those two pool noodles allow me to float with a little bit more ease, but I always make sure I get rid of the one underneath my head, because in the past the noodles have gotten tangled in my lanyard, or just in general they can cause a bit of a mess, so I get them out of the way before I start my dive. And here I go, here I start pulling myself down the line. I suppose it is a bit counterintuitive how slow a freediver will descend. You think, oh, you know, you want to go really deep, you want to pull fast or swim fast, but relaxation is definitely the most important factor. And the thing is that the deeper I'm actually pulling, like right now I'm at about 17, 18 meters, I can actually decrease the strength and the speed of my pulls because I'm already negatively buoyant. So my lungs are shrinking from the pressure of the water, and that is basically allowing me to sink. As you can see now, I start slowly entering my freefall phase, the freefall phase of my dive. At this point in time, what I'm really focused on is making sure I have a mouth filled with air. As you can see, my cheeks are all puffed out from my mouthful equalization, and I'm basically trying to keep my body just still and relaxed and disengage everything so that I'm just basically just a sinking blob of nothing. You're going to see I'm using my feet to adjust my free fall, just to keep me on track in the line. Now, if you were looking at my stomach or my abdominals, you would have noticed that I just had my very first contraction. So we're at 54 meters on the way down, and my contractions have begun. So personally, I always get early contractions. It's just who I've always been as a diver. I think I have a very naturally poor CO2 tolerance. So basically what's going on here is as the carbon dioxide levels in my body are rising, my body is trying to force me to exhale the air that's in my lungs because my body doesn't like carbon dioxide. And along with the contractions, you will get your first urge to breathe. So when the contractions begin, that's also when the first urge to breathe begins, usually, but it's different, you know, from diver to diver. So anyway, I keep cruising down. At this point in time, I'm really just focusing on keeping my entire body relaxed and equalizing. I'm still using my feet to steer me to make sure I have a good, fast free fall on the way down. Now you will notice that the contractions are still continuing. The thing is with CO2 and contractions in general, while my body is having contractions, I'm not really experiencing an urgent urge to breathe at all, and that's just really come with training. Now it is normal for a diver of my level to be able to have a lot of contractions, and for your body to really not give you any desire to breathe, or for those responses to be really dulled. Now when you are first beginning freediving, this will be, you know, when you're first beginning freediving, you start to have those contractions and the urge to breathe, and you get quite, a lot of alarm bells get signaled in your head. Your body's like, breathe, breathe, breathe. And it's basically trying to induce panic in you, to force you to respond to what you're feeling. But those signals do become dead or dull after a long period of training. So while I am descending, and while I am having contractions, and you may assume that I'm experiencing the urge to breathe, but I'm really not experiencing any urge to breathe, or at least any urge to breathe that is making me feel uncomfortable. Still, I realize that my body is having contractions, but I just keep descending. I'm getting close to the bottom now, and this is usually when the equalization gets trickier. But you know, in saying that, this depth itself is not a very challenging one for me to reach, so equalizing is going to be pretty smooth. This is also where the narcosis is getting stronger. So I'm just going to pause it again to let you know a little bit about narcosis. So basically, as you dive deeper and deeper, you get a higher concentration of nitrogen building up in your brain, and that makes you high. So Anyone that's ever done a lot of scuba diving will know about nitrogen narcosis, but we also get it with freediving. For me, it usually starts at around 70 odd meters, but it doesn't get strong until I'm getting close to 90 meters. Now the thing is, with free immersion dives, this style of diving where I'm pulling myself down the line, the narcosis is stronger because the dive times are longer, so the dives take longer, so we spend a longer period of time at depth. And so free immersion dives are known for having strong narcosis. But I personally get a really great narcotic experience. I mean, I kind of feel quite happy, relaxed and high on the narcosis. And it certainly dulls any discomfort from the dive. So if I am maybe uncomfortable or having an urge to breathe or things aren't just going well, it definitely dulls that discomfort that I'm feeling, so I don't really feel it at all. Alright, now here I am at the bottom. This is me reaching 92 meters, and I grab a tag from the bottom and I stick it in my hood and then I just start to pull myself up. Now, I am still quite narked at this point in time, so a lot of what I'm doing is just sort of on muscle memory and just because I've done so many of these dives. So I'm just basically pulling myself up strong. Now, you will notice I'm obviously pulling a lot faster up than I was down. The thing I'm actually focused on as I pull up is creating a really nice rhythm of strokes. You'll probably notice there's not much variation between the timing of my strokes because I try to get lost in the rhythm. Try to just pull at the same time. Pull and then glide as much as I can. And I pull and I glide through the water as much as I can because I'm trying not to work if I don't have to. I'm trying to let myself just glide through as much water as I can. And I think after so many years of freediving that my brain just switches into this mode, this freediving mode where I'm not thinking about anything, I'm not concerned, I'm not doing anything at all in my head. And here we are, we're at 30 meters now, and there you go, I get met by my first safety diver who's going to swim up with me to make sure that everything's okay. And then another safety diver will come in here, and look, once I see two safety divers in the water, even though I'm not really paying much attention to them, I know I'm really close to the surface, and I'm very lucid here, so I know I'm going to be completely fine on this dive. And here we go, you'll see me start to slow down in my pulls because I start to become very positively buoyant. I can just float most of the way to the surface. Then I start to breathe, 1, 2 breaths, and I'm fine. Now actually, I kind of stuffed up my surface protocol here. I did my OK sign before taking off my nose clip, and I need to take off my nose clip before I do my OK sign. But thankfully my coach for the day, Amber Burke, saved me on that one, so thank you, Amber. You'll notice on these dives that we aren't actually huffing and puffing at the end, and it's because our bodies are very well adapted to the depths that we're diving to, and they don't place a huge kind of like strain on us in terms of as if we went for a run or whatever. Oh, and there we go, the judge gives me the white card which confirms the dive was successful. There's my national record, and it is laughs and hugs all around. That was a really enjoyable dive. One of the most enjoyable dives I've actually ever done, to be dead honest with you. Now, free immersion is just one of the 3 categories in competitive freediving, and I personally don't do a lot of free immersion at all. I mean, I think I worked out that in the past 2 years, I've done a total of 6 free immersion dives at all. But that dive was actually really enjoyable. I quite enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna continue training free immersion from now on. Why not, right? I dive for pleasure, and if the dive is pleasurable, then I'll just keep diving. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I actually made this video on a recommendation from a friend. So do me a favor, and if you did enjoy it, and if this kind of stuff is what you're interested in, or you want to see more of it, then press the like button, because that gives me an indication of if it's good or not, or if you're interested in it or not. So do me a favor and let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the water somewhere. Make sure you check this video out because I think you'll like it. Otherwise, this is the most recent video that I've posted to my channel.